The morning is not just the start of the day. According to every Stoic philosopher who ever lived, it is the most important battlefield a man will ever stand on. Because what happens in the first hour of your day determines the quality of every hour that follows it. Win the morning and you have a fighting chance at the day. Lose the morning and you spend the rest of it trying to recover ground you gave away before the sun was fully up. Most men lose the morning before they ever get out of bed. They reach for the phone. They check what the world needs from them before they have even decided who they are today. They let the algorithm set their emotional tone. They let the news set their level of anxiety. They let other people's highlight reels set their standard for what they should be feeling about their own life. And then they wonder why, by 9 in the morning, they already feel behind. Already feel like something is wrong. Already feel like today is going to be exactly like yesterday. It is going to be exactly like yesterday. Because they started it exactly the same way. Marcus Aurelius woke up every morning in a palace that could have made any man soft. He had every reason to sleep late, every reason to let someone else handle the morning. He was the most powerful man in the world. And yet he wrote in his journal before the household was awake. He sat with his own mind before anyone else had access to it. He decided who he was going to be before the day had the chance to decide for him. He wrote, "At dawn, when you are reluctant to get up, say to yourself, I am getting up to do the work of a human being." Not the work of a king, the work of a human being. He understood that greatness is not built in the palace. It is built in the habits, the small daily decisions that nobody sees. The morning that belongs entirely to the man before it belongs to anyone else. So what is the thing you are skipping? It is not complicated. It never was. The Stoics identified it thousands of years ago, and it has not changed because human nature has not changed. There are 5 things, 5 specific morning practices that separate the man who changes from the man who stays the same, the man who builds from the man who waits, the man who owns his life from the man who is owned by it. Let us go through all 5. The first thing, sitting with your own mind before anyone else gets access to it. Before the phone, before the news, before the coffee conversation, before any of it. Sit with yourself in silence for 10 minutes. That sentence made some of you uncomfortable. Good. That discomfort is the exact thing we are talking about. Seneca wrote that the man who cannot be alone with his own thoughts is the most enslaved man alive. Not because someone put him in chains, because the moment silence arrives, he reaches for anything that will fill it. Music, social media, television, other people. Anything to avoid the one voice that actually has something important to say. His own. Most men have not sat in genuine silence for 10 consecutive minutes in years, maybe longer, and they wonder why they feel disconnected from their own life, why they cannot make decisions with confidence, why they feel like they are living someone else's story. The morning silence is where you recover yourself, where the noise of who other people think you are gets quiet enough for you to hear who you actually are. The practice is 10 minutes. No phone, no music, no podcast. Sit, breathe. Let the thoughts come. Do not chase them. Do not avoid them. Just be present with your own mind long enough to know what is actually in there. Do this for 7 consecutive mornings, and your relationship with your own thinking will change permanently. The second thing, deciding who you are before the world tells you. Marcus Aurelius did not just sit in silence. He wrote, Every morning he answered a question that most men never ask themselves once, let alone daily. The question was, what kind of man am I going to be today? Not what am I going to do today? Who am I going to be? This is the difference between a schedule and an identity. Most men plan their day. They write down tasks. They organize their calendar, and that is useful. But none of it answers the deeper question that determines whether any of it actually matters. Epictetus taught that you must first decide what kind of person you want to be, and then do everything accordingly. The man who has not answered that question is steerable by anyone. His mood is set by traffic. His confidence is set by how a meeting went. His sense of worth is set by how many people liked his post. He has no anchor. He is moved by whatever the day brings because he never established who he was before the day arrived. The morning practice is one sentence, written by hand, every day. Today I am a man who, and then you finish it. Today I am a man who does not react to things I cannot control. Today I am a man who does the hard thing first. Today I am a man who keeps his word to himself. One sentence, specific, stated in the present tense as if it is already true. The neuroscience behind this is real. The brain does not distinguish clearly between what is happening and what is being vividly stated as true. When you write that sentence in the morning, you are not lying to yourself. You are giving your mind a target. And the mind that has a target moves differently than the mind that does not. The third thing, moving the body before the mind has a reason not to. This is the one most men skip first when life gets busy, and it is the one that costs them the most. The Stoics believed in the absolute connection between the physical and the philosophical. They were not men who sat in rooms and thought. They walked. They trained. They believed that a man who neglects his body is neglecting the vehicle through which all philosophy must operate. Seneca wrote, "Take care of your body so far as is needful for the sake of the soul, not for vanity, not for appearance, for the clarity that only a moved body produces in the mind." The science now confirms what the Stoics knew experientially. Physical movement in the morning, even 20 minutes, increases prefrontal cortex activity. That is the part of the brain responsible for decision-making, impulse control, and emotional regulation. The man who exercises in the morning is literally a more rational and more controlled version of himself for the rest of the day. The man who skips it is running his entire day on a brain that has not been activated yet. You do not need a gym. You do not need equipment. You need 20 minutes of something that raises your heart rate and reminds your body that it is built to move. That is the minimum. That is the habit. Every morning. Non-negotiable. The weak man negotiates with himself every morning about whether today warrants the effort. And because negotiation always opens the door to defeat, he loses the argument every other day. The strong man made the decision once, and now it is just what happens in the morning. There is no negotiation because the decision is already made. The fourth thing, reading one page of something that makes you think. One page. That is it. Not a chapter. Not a book a week. One page of something that challenges your thinking and forces your mind to engage with an idea larger than your immediate situation. Seneca believed this so deeply that he structured his entire day around it. He read in the morning and he wrote in the evening. The reading brought new material in. The writing processed it into something he could use. Together, they were the most important hours of his intellectual life, and he protected them with more urgency than any meeting or obligation. He wrote to Lucilius, "Gather ideas the way bees gather honey, from many flowers, from many thinkers. Process them. Make them your own. Do not just collect them, digest them. The man who reads every morning is doing something that compounds invisibly but exponentially. On any given morning, the one page seems small, but the man who reads one page every morning for a year has encountered hundreds of ideas that the man who skipped it never did. And over a decade, the difference between those two men in terms of how they think, how they see the world, how they make decisions is not incremental. It is enormous. The Stoics, the 48 Laws, the art of war, philosophy, biography, strategy, history. It does not matter which. What matters is that the page requires something from your mind, that it does not let you stay where you were yesterday. Put the book on the nightstand tonight. Open it tomorrow morning before you open anything else. One page, then close it. That is the practice. The fifth thing, reviewing what you owe yourself before you fulfill what you owe everyone else. This is the one nobody talks about, and it might be the most important one on this list. Every morning, most men wake up and immediately begin calculating what they owe the world, what is due at work, what the family needs, what the schedule demands, what other people are waiting for. They start paying debts before they have even checked their own account. And by the end of the day, there is nothing left. Not because they were lazy, because they gave everything away to obligations before they gave anything to themselves. Marcus Aurelius understood this as a matter of survival. An emperor who gave everything to the empire and nothing to his own mind and character would eventually have nothing left to give the empire. The self wasn't selfishness. It was maintenance of the one resource that made everything else possible. Seneca wrote one of his most urgent warnings about this. He said, "Reclaim yourself. You are being stolen from. Not in large, dramatic heists, in small daily surrenders. The man who does not deliberately protect time for his own growth will find that by the time he looks for it, there is none left." The morning practice is 5 minutes. Before you check messages, before you open the calendar, before anyone makes a demand. Write down one thing you owe yourself today. Not the world, yourself. One thing that belongs entirely to your growth, your peace, your building, and make it the first thing you do or the last thing you protect in the day. Never negotiate it away. The man who consistently honors what he owes himself becomes the most reliable man in everyone else's life too, because he is not running on empty. He is not giving from depletion. He is giving from overflow. The closing. 5 things. Sitting with your own mind before anyone else gets access. Deciding who you are before the world tells you. Moving the body before the mind has a reason not to. Reading one page of something that makes you think. Reviewing what you owe yourself before you fulfill what you owe everyone else. None of these are complicated. None of them require money or perfect conditions or a radical change in your life. They require 20 minutes and a decision. The weak man skips them every morning because they are inconvenient, because the phone is closer, because the bed is warmer, because there is always a reason, and the reason always wins. The strong man does them because he made a decision about who he is before the morning arrived. And that decision does not get renegotiated based on how he feels. Seneca wrote, "Be harsh with yourself at times. This is what the morning requires. Not brutality, not punishment, just the refusal to be the version of yourself that takes the easy exit when the better version of you is right there, waiting to be chosen. You know what you have been skipping. Now you know what it costs you." Subscribe to The Quiet Stoic, Monday and Wednesday, and stay on this path. Veil.